It's just so interesting. We've got bright and beautiful, industrial but still beautiful, bright and beautiful, and then dead. Hi, hey, hello, my name is Sarah and welcome to another spooky season video. Today I have a big spooky speed build coming your way. It's actually not that spooky, but it does include the occults of The Sims 4 because when we got For Rent earlier this year and we had the ability to make residential rental homes, I had this light bulb back then, months ago, of creating a group of townhouses, but each townhouse is for a different occult type. I know that other people probably have done it since then because I knew that I wanted to do it for a spooky season video. So with that being said, let's jump into The Sims 4. Let's take a look at the speed build and let me tell you about the decisions that I made building these townhouses for these occult Sims. So as of right now, October 2024, in The Sims 4, we have 6 different occult types. We have ghosts, we have spellcasters, we have aliens, we have werewolves, we have mermaids, and we have vampires. So with 6 different occult types, I wanted to make a townhouse for each one of those occult types, but then I decided that I probably wasn't going to make one for a ghost because they're like a normal sim, right? They're just dead. So I thought that that would be kind of boring, whereas I want to heavily lean into the build styles that you would generally associate with these occults. So for vampires, I wanted to go into a very black and red and kind of gothic-esque townhouse. For island living, for mermaids, I wanted to create a bright beachy kind of vibe. Like I wanted it to really lean into those stereotypes that come with those occults and make a space specifically for those occult sims. So we have 5 different townhouses. As you're seeing, I've built the shell of them and I'm kind of deciding which townhouse is going to be for which occult type so that I know. I wanted to create different roof lines for all of these townhouses. Like I really wanted them to be so different from each other, but they're just in a group all together. So because of that, in exploring the different types of roof lines that I could do, you can see with the vampires one, I've gone with a very gothic inspired roof. It's kind of like a mansard roof where we've got these really high pitched sides and then it's flat on the top. And then we've got 2 that are completely flat. I end up using the rooftop in the 2 apartments that are completely flat and have half walls around them. So I end up utilizing them for the actual decorating of the townhouses. And as you can see, I'm over at this one on the far end and I'm trying my best to put a skylight in. I'm not great at building. I'm not very confident at it. And this was something that was a little bit out of my depth. And I know how to do it, but because of the size of this roof, it's quite small and it just wasn't working out the way that you would generally be able to do it. So I'm sorry for how bad that looks. I spent so long trying to perfect that roof. It's not perfect, but I'm not a confident builder. And honestly, I don't think anyone's really going to download this townhouse anyway. I don't know, maybe you might. I don't know, but I just did my best and I had a lot of fun with this build along the way. So I've decided that the Realm of Magic townhouse was going to be that one on the end with the glass roof. Then next door we've got the aliens house. In the middle we've got the werewolf, and then next to that is the mermaid and then vampire on the other end. Originally when I thought about this concept of making this group of townhouses, I originally had such grandiose plans of making them like 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom townhouses, making them like 3-story, but honestly I just didn't quite have the time, unfortunately, to be able to build such an extensive build. As it was, it took me about 5 hours to build this set of townhouses and fully decorate them and fully landscape them. It was a lot of fun, it just wasn't as grandiose as I was initially hoping for. Here we are though, I decided to start with this townhouse. This is the aliens townhouse. So for this one we're using Get to Work and the base game because I'm trying to make this a limited pack build and only use the packs that come with the occult types. So aliens come with get to work. So we're using a lot of the base game and a lot of get to work in this one. And I sort of struggled with this one. That's why I got it kind of done first. I was initially struggling with the vibe. I knew I wanted there to be an alien in here, and that's why I kind of went with like this door that was like had caution signs all over it. It's just like stay away, because this alien's kind of trying to keep to itself. Once I started getting into the decorating for this house, it all came together. You'll see when I get the vibes. When the vibe hits and I'm like, oh yes, I know exactly what I'm doing now, then you'll see. This whole townhouse looks very sterile. It's very white, because when I think of like alien spaceship, I think very sterile and very white. I sort of realized as I'd started decorating that this alien is here on Earth, right? And maybe in order to understand humans better, this alien has decided to get a job in the medical career. They've become a doctor in order to be able to understand the anatomy of human beings undercover as a doctor. And once I realized that, this whole apartment just came together so freaking quickly, all the decorating, because then I was able to use some of the decor that goes with the doctors and the hospitals and all of that. The issue that I had with this particular townhouse is get to work covers such an extensive range of gameplay. We have the scientist career, we have the doctor career, and we have the detective career. We also have aliens, and because there's so much gameplay to cover, there really isn't very much decor to cover one specific theme. Like, I was looking for more alien world type decor and it just wasn't there. And that's when I decided that having this alien be a doctor would be beneficial, because then I could use the decor that comes from the doctor career and all of that stuff. And it totally tied in. I think it made this apartment so cute, actually, so much fun, even though it is quite sterile and white. That being said, because these are all townhouses that are on the same lot, they all share walls. They do all have the same layout, except for the alien apartment and the mermaid apartment, the apartments that are the second apartment and the fourth apartment. They're slightly smaller. In order to create a more interesting view from the front of these townhouses, I made them kind of bump back a bit, whereas the first, third, and fifth apartments all sit forward just one tile more, just to make it look a little bit more interesting. Now we're outside on the patio, the back balcony. All of these townhouses have balconies, and for this alien sim, I think it just made sense to have a chess table, have a telescope, and then upstairs on the roof, because this is one of the apartments that actually utilized the roof space, I have a rocket ship ready to be built. And in the actual final decorating of it, I do also have a portal to go to 6am. I don't know if that's functional yet. I haven't play tested this apartment yet. I will do that very soon, so that when it's on the gallery, it will all be functional. But we are now in the mermaids townhouse. I decided to go for this one next, because honestly, I just wasn't really confident in this one either. I went with the ones that I was like least confident in my ability to make look cute, so that I could get them done. The thing with Island Living is it has a lot of really interesting stuff, but then it like doesn't have a full complete set of everything. You're gonna notice that when we go into the kitchen downstairs, in the kitchen counters. They have beautiful kitchen counters and island counters, but no upper cabinets to match. So I had to do something a little bit funky in the kitchen downstairs. Again, for this townhouse, we are using only Island Living and the base game. And it definitely became interesting when it came time to decorate this apartment specifically, because Island Living doesn't have a lot of decor items, and I had a lot of shelving, like the ladder shelf that you can now see next to the stove. I used that a lot. I'm about to put 2 more in over the other side of that room. Using that kind of shelving is perfect for having some decor, but Island Living just doesn't have very much decor. So then I've got to try to lean into the base game, and the base game does not have very mermaidy, beachy decor. I ended up making it work. I think it looks all right, but it's just using the base game in a build that is not the base game's vibe is very, very interesting, because the base game is very generic and Island Living is very not generic. It is very beachy, very mermaids. Obviously, that's what you would expect. So we do have this beautiful blue vibe throughout this entire house. I do end up changing the outer wallpaper to match the inside because I am using two different wallpapers at this current point, but I do match the outside to the inside because I like the inside's wallpaper better than the outside. We've got this beautiful kind of like relaxed vibe with the bed, and I end up using this archway that comes with Island Living to kind of encompass the bed as well. I think it looks so freaking pretty. You're gonna see that in just a moment. Outside, this is another townhouse that utilizes the roof space. So for this one, I knew that I wanted to have a ladder up. The reason that I wanted to utilize this space is because I tried so hard on the back balcony to have two sun lounges, but they just weren't quite fitting. And so I thought, well, I'll put some sand on the rooftop, which again you're gonna see in a moment, and we end up making this beautiful lounge area and having like a rooftop bar with the Island Living bar set. It's really, really nice. I feel like doing a build like this is a really good way of looking at the elements that come with a pack, like having a look at like the spandrels and the columns that come with this pack and tying it all together into a build like this. It's super interesting way to look at all of the elements that come with a pack. Because I have all the packs, I'm so used to in my personal gameplay just using everything at my disposal. So when it comes to doing a limited build like this and having to use only what comes with one pack, it's interesting to see the cohesiveness of a pack. I feel like we've started to get a little bit better in the later packs with things being cohesive, because in the earlier packs it was a little bit of a disaster. We're actually going to see a tiny little bit of that with the vampires build. We're not at the vampires build though, so let's talk about the werewolves build, because here we are at the werewolves build. For this one, I knew that I wanted it to be very industrial, very worn down, very scratches on the floor and on the walls, and this linoleum looks like it's like cracked and it's like peeling. We've got a barbed wire fence on the back balcony because it's a werewolf, and there's a lot of like wooden rustic elements in here, but also a lot of metal elements in here to kind of give that industrial vibe as well. The brick walls throughout the entire build, it's almost like, and I feel like this is the vibe they were going for in Moonwood Mill as well, abandoned like warehouses and stuff is kind of like the vibe. Like the library in Moonwood Mill is very like old abandoned building that has just been turned into a library vibe, and I kind of wanted this to have a similar vibe. Even though it's a townhouse, it kind of has like decrepit, maybe this wasn't originally a townhouse vibe and it's been turned into a townhouse now. Or it could just be that this werewolf is just a little bit of an angry werewolf and is destroying the place. That could just be what it is as well, and it's too expensive to replace everything, so just have it all be a bit worn to begin with. So I really, really like the werewolves stuff. I feel like being a later pack, we have a lot of really interesting items that we can use to decorate to create this kind of rundown vibe. I really, really like the decor style of this pack. I feel like it does really well in helping tell a story, and there is so much story in The Sims 4 Werewolves. If you have not discovered the werewolves lore, oh my goodness. You need to watch Plumbella's video on the entire history of Moonwood Mill. Like, she does a whole lore video, very in-depth. It's actually quite tragic, the lore. And I am such a sucker for a tragic story. Anyway, we are doing some of the decor stuff, kind of like assembling bits and bobs here and there. The rundown vibes of this apartment have really started to come together, as well as incorporating some of the wall murals that we have, which are some of my favorite items in the werewolves pack is these murals. They have different swatches. I used all of them because they look so good, and it just ties into the vibe of this apartment so nicely. And honestly, I think the werewolves apartment ends up being one of my favorite of this entire group of townhouses, because the vibe is just, it's there, it's absolutely there, especially once all of the landscaping is done. It just looks so freaking good. I had so much fun decorating this apartment specifically, but all of the townhouses as well, because it's kind of just an interesting concept of this 5 completely different types of apartments that we're essentially building, but they're all in one group together. It's just very, very interesting. So at this point, I'm just kind of getting the initial stages of the Realm of Magic townhouse done and the Vampires townhouse done. And I completely did a 360 on the vibes for the Realm of Magic house. Initially, I started making a dark and black kind of townhouse vibe, and then I completely changed my mind and wanted to go with something super bright because I've not done that with Realm of Magic. I've explored grey and black and purples throughout, but I've never done any like the white and the light, so I completely changed the vibe. But with that being said, I actually did a 360 and decided to go into the Vampires townhouse next because I was so excited for this one. There's so much again that comes with the Vampires pack that creates this beautiful gothic vibe, but at the same time there's just a few things that aren't quite cohesive, or they just don't quite match, or we just don't have very many swatches for. The swatches on some of the items, it's like there's two different swatch themes. There's this beautiful window that I would have loved to have used, but it doesn't match the swatches of the doors, and that just kind of like threw me off, so I couldn't use it. And then we also have this beautiful like kitchen counter set that comes with Vampires, but it only has 3 swatches and none of them are a black swatch. You would think that being Vampires and being a gothic pack that it would be like dark. They'd have at least 1 black swatch. They've got white cabinets and a black countertop, but they do not have like a black cabinet swatch, and it throws me off every single time. It's such a shame because it's an actually beautifully ornate kitchen cabinet set, and it even has upper cabinets to match, but there's only 3 swatches and it throws me off every time. So I had to use this kind of orangey swatch, which I don't really like, but it was the only swatch that I kind of felt matched the vibes, which are very black and red is what I decided to go for this Vampires apartment. It's also very dark and dingy in here, being a vampire, the aversion to sunlight. I put up these massive curtains in there so that there would be no sunlight coming through. So it is very dark and dingy, but also really, really pretty. So this door that I've used in the upstairs bathroom, as well as the dresser and the mirror, they all have the same color swatches as the one window that I was mentioning before that just doesn't match anything else. It's really weird. I wish that they would just have gone back and made the swatches more cohesive in earlier packs. Maybe they plan to do that. I don't know. Maybe that's too big a task, but just to make things a little bit more cohesive, because it's hard to use some of these items all together in a build like this because they just don't match, and I am very much a stickler for when I have a color scheme like this, going all in on the color scheme. This brown swatch is the darkest swatch of this dresser, so I have to use it even though it doesn't match, and it kills me. It kills me just a little bit on the inside, but it's fine. Anyway, I had a lot of fun with the decor for this one. There is a lot of really fun Vampires decor, and when it came to the balcony specifically, I decided to put just a whole heap of cobwebs out there because this is a vampire. They're not going to be like out on their balcony in the daylight, are they? So I just put a whole heap of cobwebs out there because it's like the balcony just doesn't get used. But now we are here at the Realm of Magic townhouse, and using the beautiful ornate doors and windows, absolutely stunning for this apartment. But this door is actually a door that's intended for medium wall height, so a little hack if you want to use a medium wall height door on a short wall height is you just make it a medium wall height for the minute, turn on the move objects cheat, place your door, and then bring your wall height back down to short wall height, and it will stay there, and it looks so freaking pretty. I just love the ornate vibes of Realm of Magic. It's something that has always been my favorite thing about the Realm of Magic pack, is they leaned in on this beautiful ornate patterning on the windows, the doors, the wallpaper, the flooring, even the cabinets. As you're seeing here, we're in the kitchen cabinets now. It's giving very old, very whimsical, very witchy, and that is like the perfect vibe. Unfortunately for this kitchen set though, we do not have matching upper cabinets. Again, it is one of those earlier packs that I wish we could just get a little bit of a refresh for, but it's fine. I made do with some open shelving though, and once that open shelving is fully decorated, I think it looks super freaking cute. The little sitting room for this one is so beautiful with that feature window. I just absolutely love the Realm of Magic windows. I think they're so pretty. And then even with the upstairs in the bathroom, this set that they have, the bathroom set, is also abso-freaking-lutely stunning. We do have a shower, a toilet, and a sink that is just so freaking beautiful for that bathroom. Up on the balcony for this one, I think it just made sense to have a cauldron out there because this is the Realm of Magic spellcaster freaking townhouse. You need to have a cauldron to brew all your potions. And then I knew that I had to use the beautiful fireplace in the bedroom, the 4-post bed with the stained glass roof. It is one of my favorite beds of the entire game. All of the swatches are absolutely stunning. And for this lighter vibe, which I've never explored a lighter vibe with the Realm of Magic stuff before, it just looks so delicate, so whimsical, very feminine actually. I'm sorry if that's not quite the vibe you were expecting, but this whole townhouse does feel very feminine to me. Whereas I feel like all of the other townhouses, or maybe the mermaid townhouse would also be very feminine to me. So I do apologize if that's not quite the vibe you're expecting. But the alien, the werewolf, and the vampire townhouse do feel like they could be feminine or masculine vibe to me. But with that being said, I didn't show you any of the landscaping or any of the final decorating. So we better jump into The Sims 4 so that I can show you the completed Occult townhouses. Hey! Did you know that 74% of you watching right now have not subscribed to my YouTube channel? If you'd like to see some fun Sims 4 build videos, some fun Sims 4 creator sim videos, some Sims 4 gameplay, and a sprinkle of drama here and there, hit the subscribe button down below and join my wonderful little community. But with that being said, let's get back into the video. Alright you guys, this is our group of 5 occult themed townhouses from the very front. All of the landscaping done and everything. There is so much I have to show you with this tour, so we're going to get right into it. We're going to start with the Realm of Magic townhouse. And the landscaping out the front, we've just got very simple hedge bushes because we didn't really get many plants that came with Realm of Magic, and the base game ones just were not quite the vibe for this townhouse. So when in doubt, just go with freaking hedgerows and you'll be totally fine. Coming up to the front door, we've got just a little piece that lets you know this is the Realm of Magic townhouse, just in case you weren't sure. All of them kind of have something to let you know that it is the occult type that they are. I know you're already seeing the beautiful white vibes. It's so light and beautiful in here. The dining area and into the kitchen with the beautiful open shelving. It looks a little bit cluttered, but in a nice and homely way. Like, it doesn't look overly cluttered. It just looks like someone lives here, and that's the vibe. And then it leads into the lounge room, the bright open lounge room. Lighting's a little bit funky in here. The Sims 4, it does funky things sometimes, but we do have this just beautiful, again, bright white open sitting area. No TV in this apartment because there's plenty of books, and I think your sim would be too busy just doing magic in here. So when we get to the top of the stairs and we walk into the bedroom here with the beautiful skylight, it just has this beautiful ornate pattern on the floor. We do have the bed, we do have the beautiful fireplace, a little seating area next to the mirror, the chest of drawers, and then the door that leads into the bathroom. For the beautiful bathroom set that we've got with Realm of Magic, so freaking pretty. And then a small little sink over here with just a couple of decor bits and bobs, absolutely beautiful. Heading out to the balcony though, we do have another potions cabinet out here on the balcony because you do need plenty of display cases for your potions. And then we do have the cauldron out here as well. Moving right along to the alien townhouse though, we do have a couple of plants from Get to Work, like these little trees that are very 6am, and this little like flowers, low-lying flowers that are very 6am as well. And then we come up to the front door here, which is the caution, please stay the hell away because I don't want anyone in here except me because I'm an alien. And this is what we see when we walk through the front door. Again, it gives very sterile, very white and bright, but in a very different way to the Realm of Magic townhouse, with this little futuristic dining area in this kitchen that is very sterile. Once again, there is no clutter to be seen because I didn't feel like clutter is what this alien would be about. As it is, I feel like the most homely that this alien sim gets is adding a couple of plants here and there, and then they're like, yep, no worries, that's all I need. We do have some debug prints in this townhouse from the backyard observatory, the massive freaking telescope. These prints are absolutely stunning, and I actually have a feature wall heading upstairs, which we are going to see now, as well as a couple of little like live aliens that you get from Cjbeards, so super fun. When we get to the top of the stairs though, this is the vibe for this alien sim who's trying to learn more about humans. So they're in the doctor career, so they've got things like x-rays on the wall to understand human anatomy. They've got like eye testing charts, and they've got like this little human anatomy doll. They've got a skeleton, and then there's a couple of little spacey things like the star mirror, the little lamp, and a birth certificate, this futuristic computer. We've also got a sim ray as well, because I figured, when the hell else am I ever going to use a sim ray? Let's put it here, totally fine. And then we do have this door that heads into the bathroom. Looks just interesting. It's just interesting vibes. Out onto the balcony for this one, like I said, we do have this chess table and a telescope to look out at the stars, and we do also have a little seating area. The ladder heading upstairs though to the roof, where you'll find we do have the pad ready to build the spaceship. For some reason, every time I try to use debug to build, like debug cheats to build a rocket, it doesn't work for me. It's weird and it's annoying, so unfortunately you'll have to build the rocket yourself if you decide to use this build. We do also have the portal that I haven't tested yet if it works, and we do also have this little chemical lab station analyzer as well. Heading into the werewolves townhouse though, and like I said, I just had so much fun in the landscaping for this apartment. You definitely get the vibes that it's a werewolf. We've got Greg's warning signs out the front, because that's what lets you know that it's a freaking werewolf, as well as the door that has a werewolf on it. It's just very basic in its landscaping, but it definitely gives the vibe, I think. So let's go in and take a look. This is what you see when you walk through the door. The industrial vibes, the worn down industrial vibes, cracked mirror scratches on the floor, cracked lino that is just waiting to peel up, as well as some like painting, some wall murals over the brick. Looks freaking perfect. This entire kitchen is base game aside from the light. Everything else in this kitchen is base game though. And then we go into the living room over here, which has just a really small TV, just because I felt like that was the vibe. Maybe this werewolf isn't well off. They have just enough money to exist here, and that's about it. We do have a guitar from the werewolves pack as well, and then we've got just the seating area. I really like the vibes. You really do get the rundown vibes. I decided to put the telescope from the werewolves pack in here, positioned at the window next to the tarp. Totally fine. And this is what you see when you reach the top of the stairs here. I tried to paint the ceilings, but the ceilings, I don't know, the lighting in the ceilings is all a bit funky. I don't know how that's happened, and it doesn't look very good. So I do apologize for that. But we do have some beautiful werewolves decor on the walls to let you know well and truly it's a werewolf that's living here, including the completed werewolves like trophy case. Like, this is all of the stuff that you find when you're finding the lore of Moonwood Mill. It's completely assembled, so it's got all of the lore here waiting for you to read it. And then we do have the bed area. This mural behind the bed is probably my favorite of the werewolves pack. I really like this mural of the man inside the beast. It's super interesting, and I like this swatch in particular. It gives nighttime lunar vibes. It almost looks like stars that are around it. Heading into the bathroom for this one, the scratched wooden door, and then we do have all base game stuff in here again, because we did not get a bathroom set that came with werewolves. Totally fine though. And we do have those same counters from downstairs. Just a few bits and bobs. They're not super cluttered because they're really small bathrooms, but they serve the purpose. So heading outside onto the balcony for this werewolf though, we've got a couple of bits and bobs that kind of feel essential for your werewolf. Some exercising machines. Keep them nice and fit so that when they're raging, they can go running. So with that being said, the mermaids townhouse now. I wanted this to be kind of beachy vibes. We've got blue for the outside. The flowers are super beachy vibes. We've got some grass. We've got sand leading up to the front door, and even on the balcony here, we've got sand. Like I said, there really wasn't a lot of decor that comes with island living, so I had to substitute with a lot of base game stuff. It's kind of interesting. The entryway is a little bit boring and basic, but I feel like we make up for it a little bit when we get into the kitchen. Considering we don't have upper cabinets, I feel like this ladder shelf worked really nicely in the kitchen, and just this shelving that we have above the fridge as well worked beautifully. And then over the other side, we've just got some more of these ladder shelving with some displays of decor stuff there. The lounge room though, we're getting interesting vibes in here. I love this beautiful blue. It's kind of giving underwater with this print. It's a debug print and these fish hanging from the wall. It's giving very underwater vibes, and those vibes are fully realized by the glass panels creating this sunroof down into the lounge room. And just over here, like this, does this not give underwater vibes to you? This screen right here, that gives such beautiful underwater vibes to me. I love that. Heading upstairs though, and in the stairway we've got some interesting displays. We've got some fish mounts from Island Living Debug, and we've got some more prints from Debug as well. These prints are so beautiful. And then we swing around to reveal the full bedroom here. Beachy, very relaxed. We do have a mermaid's chest at the end of the bed because this is a mermaid sim, so it kind of just makes sense. Unfortunately though, for your mermaid sim, there really isn't a lot of water for them to be swimming in. I didn't think about that really, because there's not like a hot tub or anything that comes with island living. So for a townhouse like this, the only way that they can even get in water is in the shower. It's also very empty in here. I don't really like the island living shower, and I don't really like the island living sink or the bathtub. There's no toilet that comes with the island living pack, which is another one of those things. Like, I feel like it's just not a complete set. Being an earlier pack, it's just not complete. You're gonna give me a shower, a tub, a sink, but no toilet to match any of them, and I always struggle to find a toilet to match the sets. I just don't end up using the island living sets very often. Heading out to the balcony though, out here I wasn't sure what kind of skill building item to give this sim. Like, there's kind of a skill building item in every single one of these townhouses, and I wasn't sure what to do for this mermaid sim, so I just put an easel here. Totally fine. A little seating area, because the actual main attraction of this balcony is to have this like glass panel that becomes the skylight in the living room. It's so pretty. Heading up to the rooftop though, like I mentioned, we do have this beautiful lounge area and the bar. Unfortunately, I don't think our sims can actually get behind the bar and use it. It's more just for looks than anything. It just looks really, really cute. So essentially this balcony is just for sunbathing, but sand on the roof, interesting vibe. I had a lot of fun with this apartment. And last but certainly not least, the vampires townhouse. It's just so interesting. We've got bright and beautiful, industrial but still beautiful, bright and beautiful, and then dead. It's giving dead or dying, and that's kind of the whole point, right? Like, these ferns look like they're dying. We've got the red leaves on this shrubs. We've got the candelabras here for light. We've got so many thistles. We've got cobwebs, and this is what we see when we walk through the front door. Like I said, I painted the ceiling in this one. This one was kind of my tester apartment. You're gonna see what I mean about the lighting doing weird stuff in a second though. So this is what we see when we walk through the front door. We've got this beautiful, deep, dark, black and red vibe, and then just the orange of this kitchen cabinet set. I hate it, because look at how beautiful the detailing on the cabinets is. Just the black swatch would be so freaking good. Thank you so much. Anyway, it's fine. So I did my best with what I had, and this is what I had at my disposal. So into the lounge room. You might not believe me, but this ceiling is painted to be the same as this ceiling. I don't know what happened with the lighting. The lighting's just a little bit funky in this lot. I'm not a builder, so I've got no idea. But into the living room, we've got this beautiful seating area, very gothic vibes with the plants, the candles, the pictures on the wall, and over the other side we have a pipe organ, because of course we do. When else am I going to use this freaking pipe organ? So yes, the pipe organ, thank you so much. This is our beautiful vampire's bedroom. Again, super dark and dingy. Barely any lights, just a little bit of light coming through the tinted windows of the door over there. This carpet is not one I would generally ever go with, but I feel like it works perfectly for this vibe. We've got the 4-post bed. We've got the fireplace with all of these different urns on top of it. Most of these urns are from the base game. Only the one in the very middle comes with vampires. All the rest are base game. I didn't realize we had so many urns in the base game. It's interesting. Into the bathroom for this one, we do have a full bathroom set for the vampires pack, so it just ties in really nicely. Black and red. We do also have a shower tub combo. I love this black and red swatch. Super freaking pretty. Out to the balcony though, like I said, this balcony does not ever get used by this vampire, so we've got lots of cobwebs and thistles, and it's almost like the doors haven't even been opened in years. So that's actually the townhouses all toured, but there is one more thing that I have to show you. So when we come up to the very side of this building, there is a little gated spot right here that has all of these outdoor bins. And a mailbox as well, but all of these outdoor bins, there's like one for each apartment. Got the spellcaster bin, the alien bin, the werewolf bin, the mermaid bin, and the vampires bin. That's what I decided to do. And we do also have just a standard mailbox as well, and I'm gonna mention why in just a moment. With that being said, if you would like to download this group of townhouses for yourself, it will be on the gallery. My gallery ID is sezrawrr, the exact same way it's spelled here, and you will find it under Occult Townhouses. I did not know that this was the front of the lot. It makes no freaking sense to me, and let me tell you why it makes no sense. This is the street that this group of townhouses is on, right? Have a look at all of these houses and where the front of these lots are. They're all pointing in towards this road. So I assumed that the front of this lot would also be pointing in towards this road, but no, it's pointing out towards this road. It makes no sense. Anyway, just please ignore that this is the photo, the cover photo. I wish we could choose our own photos for the gallery listings. Anyway, it's fine. So we did use 5 packs for this build. We used Island Living for the mermaid. We used Get to Work for the alien. We used werewolves for the werewolf. We used Realm of Magic for the spellcasters and vampires for the vampire, right? So the thing is, this is a group of townhouses. They're all on the same lot, and I mentioned at the very beginning of this video that I had the idea to build this when For Rent came out. I've not used For Rent though, so at the moment this is just a group of 5 buildings on one lot, categorized as one home. It's not actually categorized as a residential rental. And I did that because I understand that not everyone has For Rent, and I didn't want to make this a residential rental on the gallery listing for the people that don't have For Rent. So at the moment, if you don't have the For Rent pack, but you have all 5 of these packs and you want to use this build, you would just make yourself a family of a mermaid, an alien, a spellcaster, a werewolf, and a vampire, and move them into this $303,000 build and have those 5 Sims living in those apartments respectively. Even though this build does not actually function as an apartment block, it doesn't function as a residential rental, it functions as a normal home. So they're gonna have one lot of bills, which is why we have one mailbox. That being said, if you do have the For Rent pack, it would be super easy to just turn this into a residential rental and just make each different townhouse a rental lot of its own. So you could easily do that. I just decided not to for the gallery listing. But with that being said, you guys, that's all I've got for this video of creating 5 different townhouses, but each townhouse is for a different occult. If you would like to see more of me and more Sims 4 content that I've got coming your way, including some more spooky season goodness, hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell next to it to be notified of every time that I upload. And if you liked this video, let me know by hitting the like button down below and leave me a comment as well. Leave me an emoji of of your favorite occult type that we have in The Sims 4 in the comments down below to let me know that you got this far in the video, you enjoyed this build, and you are excited to see more spooky season goodness coming your way. But guys, I hope you're having the greatest day ever, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!